An object that should never have been opened. A small, simple box, capable of unleashing nightmares that repeat for generations.
They say it's just a lie. An internet fraud turned into myth.
But they also say it is the most feared curse of modern occultism.
Shared nightmares, impossible smells, shadows moving in the darkness. Coincidence? Or something that should never have crossed into our world?
The Dybbuk Box is a living contradiction, fraud, and curse.
Because a lie, repeated with enough fear, can become truth.
This is the story of the cursed object that confused the world. The question is, do you dare to believe? The Dybbuk Box, a simple wine cabinet. For some, a worthless piece of furniture. For others, a vessel of darkness capable of ruining entire lives.
A fraud, and at the same time, the most feared object in modern occultism.
If it was invented, how do we explain the testimonies of tragedies? If it's real, why does its creator admit it was a lie?
What happens when a lie is believed by thousands? Fear feeds it, and the myth begins to breathe like a living being.
It is not just an object. It is a mirror. It reflects what we believe and what we fear.
And that may be the true curse.
The myth was not born in temples or ancient grimoires, but on the internet, an anonymous auction with one message: never open it.
From that moment, it ceased to be just a piece of furniture. It became a symbol, a narrative virus that traveled from person to person.
What is fascinating is not only what it contains, but what it represents. The razor's edge between fraud and faith, suggestion and possession.
The question is inevitable. What happens when a lie begins to take on a life of its own?
Europe, 1938. In Poland, hatred spreads like an endless shadow. The Jewish people stand at the edge of the abyss.
When faith is not enough, some seek refuge in the forbidden. Not in temples, but in the darkness between the living and the dead.
Hava, a mother with no children, no husband, broken by violence. Her pain no longer seeks comfort. It demands power.
At first, innocent games, candles, letters, questions. Then, the voice, clearer, stronger, hungrier.
That name in Jewish folklore freezes the blood. Dybbuk, a wandering spirit, desperate to possess a body.
It does not ask. It demands to enter. It brings no peace. It brings chains.
In desperation, they lock what was summoned inside the only thing available, a wooden cabinet.
But the ritual fails. Something is trapped. Something escapes.
It was not liberation. It was condemnation. The spirit remained sealed, waiting.
And so, the legend was born.
Decades later, a Portland merchant finds that cabinet. Kevin Mannis buys it at an estate sale.
Inside, locks of hair, old coins, a chalice, a twisted candelabrum, a dried rose. remains of an incomplete ritual.
The family warns it's the Dybbuk Box. Never open it. Kevin smiles. He thinks it's superstition.
He gifts it to his mother on Halloween.
Minutes later, she suffers a stroke. She manages to write, "I hate the gift."
From that moment, Kevin changes. Dreams with the same horrid woman. Opposite smells. Jasmine for him, cat urine for his wife.
He tries to get rid of the box. Brothers, girlfriend, buyers, all return it. A note left. Unbearable darkness.
Marks on his skin. Business destroyed. Mind shattered. Desperate. He uploads it to eBay.
Without knowing it, he planted one of the most powerful viral legends in modern occultism. From Portland to a university dorm in Missouri. Joseph, 20 years old. The box as a trophy.
While others showed off guitars, he showed off curses.
At first, laughter. 6 students, parties, youthful chaos. In the middle, the box.
Then, the smell. Sweet jasmine. Later, unbearable stench. Lights exploding, doors always open.
The same nightmare in different beds. The horrid woman who watches them and attacks.
Joseph breaks down. Insomnia, hair falling out. Obsession. The box devours him, but he won't let it go.
Fear becomes contagion. Shared paranoia. The apartment turns into a prison.
Joseph flees and takes it with him. The guest seeks a new host.
The box reaches the hands of a scholar, Jason Haxton, museum curator. For him, it wasn't a game. It was an enigma.
He touches it. The wood vibrates. A pain shoots through him.
Grotesque nightmares. Metallic taste. Shadows in the museum. Lights explode. Smells appear and vanish.
Secret rituals. For a while, calm, but never free.
He builds a new prison. Acacia wood. Gold inside. An ark to contain the unnameable.
His body improves, but his spirit is already marked. The researcher becomes the guardian.
In 2012, Hollywood transforms the legend into spectacle, the possession.
Lights exploding, equipment failing. They said the set was cursed.
Later, Zach Bagans displays it in Las Vegas, no longer hidden. Glass case and spotlights.
Once kept under lock and key, now turned into a trophy.
The myth multiplies, no longer 1, but 10 boxes. An expansion impossible to prove, yet irresistible.
10 boxes is oratorio that never stops dying.
Kevin breaks the silence. He confesses he invented the story. An interactive horror tale.
A conscious fraud, designed to breathe outside the page.
But the paradox is brutal. His mother really did suffer a stroke upon opening it. That was no fiction.
What happens when an invention begins to invent itself? The lie bites back.
He played with sacred symbols, with his grandmother's memory. And though he claimed it was all fiction, those who held the box felt otherwise.
Perhaps the curse is not a demon in the wood, but a story that refuses to die.
In the end, the question isn't whether it holds a demon, but what it awakens in us.
Fear, faith, suggestion.
let us not forget its root in Europe's hatred and the trauma of a people. Perhaps the first curse was that memory.
And the irony, it was not born in grimoires, but on eBay, a listing that ignited a global myth.
A lie repeated that began to act as truth, and by telling it, we keep it alive.
Stories do not die. They only change bearers. And now that you've heard it, it belongs to you too.
So tell me, what do you believe? Fraud or curse?